dress.
It's a
because when you got it, it looked like you were wearing.
really? No. Oh, I thought you could see my coochie. Sometimes you can. So maybe I need to watch.
We'll save that for only.
So I wore a stripper dress today for the. This is what I would wear to. This would be one of my work.
It's very.
Thank you. It's very cheap because I'm. And it can easily be. You just pull it right off, do your lap. This is a typical stripper.
That's not what you wore on. Sorry.
I would wear this on. Why not?
I thought you were talking about a private show or something like that.
I would wear this on. Why is this offensive? You don't like it?
You know what? For my, it looks like it's.
Really? Nice. You don't want to wear anything too expensive at the club. Bitches will purposely burn you with the. They'll do all kinds of.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Until I'm all my.
We never have to worry about anything. The worst kind of sabotage that we would get would be if we got our bottoms mixed up. They might be bigger size, and then they would squat, and then something would. They wouldn't say anything about it. The following week, you'd find it, and oh, there's my. And then there's like a big tear down the side of it. It's like, I guess I'm not wearing this. Most guys, they'll have their under G. At least, I think most. At least all the guys from my shows have like an under. It's just like girls.
So it's like a nude one under there, a double G.
It's not, but it was a way of protecting. So one of the things that kind of stuck out to me was Leon Isaac. He was talking about the innocent times at the. It was kind of weird that he would say that. All these others, they were kind of saying the same. They kind of started off empowerment, started off with equal sexual, and everything was all. And then it took a dark turn in the first. That's something that you kind of see happening, and it's so you kind of start getting a feel for what it was like, and it's going from the 70s to there was a big jump in kind of direction that it went into.
Around this, would you say? Is that what they're saying? It went down in the 80s?
From around this thing. That's when shit started getting really. So I just wanted to see what your thoughts on that.
I don't know too much about the early, so I couldn't really speak on that. So I do like some of the. I just remember it always being like a fantasy that everyone wanted to, and even as we would talk to, they would list it as Playboy nudes or penthouse. Like that was like a style. So it was like this, and Playboy was considered like.
Yeah.
So you would do, but it was a certain way that you did. So everyone wanted to be in. That was kind of like there was photographers that use Playboy as and they get you into it, and they really had no in. You could always submit. So models would fly all over the world thinking they were going to get into it. Like it was a big thing to do something like. So I can see where if you go there and then you find out that you're going to get invited to the bedroom, like they put you on the spot with, and you have to make a split second decision what you're going to. So there's a lot of girls that they think they're going to get a lot of, but they don't tell you that it's small payments over. Like no one sits down and goes over the money and you know what it's. So I can see where girls kick, especially if they're and they don't know. I could see where they could get roped into a situation and then not knowing how to get out of it because of who he is. And they want a career and they want to be an actress. And a lot of girls are struggling when they join them. He likes to get girl next doors that, you know, are from really small towns, have a certain, you know, it's not like, it's a, so it can be overwhelming to not follow. And then some girls have it in them to follow and they don't mind going through all of these steps to get to Playmate of the Year or Pamela Anderson or Jenny McCarthy level. Like there are girls that, you know, you have to flirt with him and be in his face and then he remembers and then he puts you in more. But then he had some girls like the Holly and the people were laughing at them because they were like the girlfriends that he never put in them and they were doing all of this and he never like
just being all
gave them anything. Like they were there for before they
Yeah.
finally got the girl next. He wouldn't put them in. So
Now, do you think if those girls had agents or professional entertainment that he would have booked them?
they do have a Playboy. When you work with you, everything that you're going to do in regards to, there is a lady. And
But if you already have your own,
no, Playboy's your.
so like if somebody had a contract with an existing, they just wouldn't even consider you.
You have to go through Playboy like his.
Mm,
And even when you like phone, they're right there.
just trying to make sure that you don't say anything.
I'm not really. If you do say something, they might have like a talking. You don't say this. Let's. Because I remember I had once made not with but another magazine where I was saying how my little brother saw it, and he was so that was things that don't sound you
Right,
learn
right.
through trial, and they don't really sit you down and they don't do this and don't do that. You mess up and then they talk to you about it. So that's my.
So there's no guidelines that they
No.
coach you on, like when you.
Mm-mm.
Do you think they started doing that like in the later years with the whole social media and started becoming
Maybe.
brand and the Playmates started using their own social media to kind of build their own. I just wonder if they started to have to do media coaching for the because put something on social media and if it's interesting, it'll spread like so. I know you weren't, but it's still interesting, and I wonder if anybody drop it in the comments or hit us up on we'd love to hear some info about. I just thought that was really interesting how they had that dynamic between the innocent and then they had the darker.
The innocent and the oh my God, that sounds like it wouldn't be that. Like it would be more.
You watch the videos from the 70s and it's just for me as a young adult, that looks like everybody's free, like a level of freedom that you can't even really conceptualize until you see something like Hef and then all the Playboy. That's just, and then you kind of start finding out how he kind of leveraged this and invited other people who were on the upper echelon of Hollywood and got them, and then just later on down the road held that stuff they did over their head. You're going to say this about us? Remember this? I don't
understand how that would work.
It's basically like extortion or so towards the end of the.
But how could you blackmail someone like?
So a couple of the valets, like the butler, they said that they would invite the media to come over to the mansion and partake in and everything was being those people got involved with whatever debauchery was. When Playboy PR team found out this particular media outlet's going to do an article on the debauchery or on the women claiming that they've been abused, and then they would reach out to those media outlets. The person who read that piece, and they showed we still have this on. If you release, we'll release, and then they never did. They had that control for the media because they were inviting people over that could basically shed light on the darkness that was happening to them. So that's how they did. They basically just had dirt on them.
I thought they were saying they also had it on the. But I saw some old footage where he announces he has cameras.
Yeah, that was one of the interviews that he did in episode. They asked the camera, and he was, "I have camera in there. Why do you have it in your bedroom?" And sometimes I want to record. They were more or less. They were just kind of like, "Oh, you're being cheeky about it," but. Had he had that same interview today, they would have grilled his.
It was different back then, and nobody talked about all the everything, acting, like every aspect was sexual. And I think a lot of there's like an old you work your way to the middle and then you sleep your way to the so otherwise you're just mid. A lot of people that did seem to go further were the ones that were going into his. And that's not, but I did notice like the girls from like Canada and they seem like legitimately there because they were good at what they do. So, and then they kind of felt put out that they had to basically sleep with him. It was kind of like an ongoing. But then that didn't mean you would necessarily get the yearly because they were fighting for that yearly.
My question for you is some of the girls that were, do you think that some of them were there because they were just a little bit more promiscuous